getting to the heart of what matters about your mental, spiritual, financial, and physical well being. In my quest to find wholeness, wellness, and end the 40 years of obesity that ravaged my body, I found that it was my own stories that were keeping me trapped in processed food addiction. Once I started asking the right questions, those same stories led to brand new consciousness, mindfulness, and agency. Each month on Get the Backstory Live, we take on the tough questions so you can find the healing, hope, and transformation hidden in your story.
Well, good evening and welcome to Get the Backstory Live. It is so good to see you. I am so happy that you decided to take some time out this evening and spend time with us. My name is Michelle Pettis, and I am your host for the evening. And it's about to be on and popping, y'all. This is February. We're winding down Black History Month. February is a month of love, right? It's Heart Health Month, and we're going to talk about all of that tonight with two amazing guests. I cannot wait. I can hardly wait for you to share their stories with you. But just want to, set it up a little bit here on Get the Backstory Live. If you are joining us for the first time, we are going to start talking about stories of transformation. We're going to start talking about telling the truth about taking care of ourselves and taking care of our bodies. And I just can't imagine two better women to be on the show to talk about that, because it is so important, especially as we think about February and this being the month of love, for us to take some time and start focusing on self-love and what that looks like. This is a topic that is near and dear to my heart because of my own weight loss journey. And what I want this show to be, I want this show to be a platform, a place for anybody that is struggling, that is battling weight loss issues, to come and get inspiration, from those who have been there or those who are still currently working through it. So that's what we're going to do tonight. That's what we're going to continue to do. We're going to continue to hold up these stories of transformation so we can all become better versions of ourselves. So first, I want to introduce my first guest tonight. I'm so excited to have her on. And let me put my glasses on, y'all, because I need to be able to see. I would like for you all to welcome along with me to Get the Backstory Live, Miss Pamela Leake. Pamela Leake is one of Baltimore's best entertainers and unsung heroes. She is known for her comedic personality, Miss Maybelle, a hip, older, wisecracking auntie. We all have one of those, don't we? We all have one of those. Wherever Miss Maybelle performs, audiences fall in love with her. She's performed not only in various comedy clubs, but in churches all over Baltimore and on cruises. The longtime performer was a featured act of the Universal Circus, making the crowd laugh while riding an elephant. She also has a loyal following that routinely shows up for her events and performances. In 2009, Ms. Maybelle received a key to the city of Baltimore from former Mayor Sheila Dixon for Best Entertainer. Every year on October 23rd, it's Miss Maybelle's official day to go to City Hall and do whatever she wants. Maybelle as a persona and Leek as the real person both have a heart of gold, because this is February, Heart Health Month, the month of love. Leek may be all laughs as Miss Maybelle. However, she is very serious when it comes to serving the homeless in Baltimore and taking care of her 62-year-old son who has cerebral palsy. He is her heart. When she's not doing comedy, Leek can be seen hosting her own fashion shows for the big girls. For the past 15 years, she has hosted an event that features over 22 full figured models. Every show has been a sellout. In addition, over the past few years, she has been feeding the homeless every 3 to 4 months. She worked with several encampments at Baltimore City, at Patapsco Avenue, and Poteet Street, under the bridge on Guilford Avenue, and across from Raven Stadium. Recently, she was honored by the city of Baltimore and has a street named for her. Please help me welcome to Get the Backstory Live, Pamela Leak, aka Miss Maybell.
Hey, Michelle, girl, you give a heck of an intro. I when I do my shows, that was awesome.
Well, sign me up, baby. I loved reading it. I really,
Thank you.
It touched my heart. It touched my heart. And
Thank you.
you are such a treasure, and you're such a jewel. And I am so grateful to you for coming on the show tonight to share your health journey. I know that it will be such an inspiration to so many people,
I
right?
hope so.
I'm gonna put a pin in it right now because I want to bring on our next guest, and,
Okay.
and we're gonna have a girl talk. We're gonna
Okay,
have
sound
we're
good.
gonna have a girl
Sound
talk,
good.
and
I'm on.
we're gonna get to the heart of the matter. That's exactly what we want. That's exactly what we're gonna do.
Okay.
So the second guest that I would love to introduce you all to is Malika Tamu Cooper. And Miss Malika Tamu Cooper has over 25 years of professional natural hair care expertise and is the Oprah of the natural hair care industry, for her legacy is long and strong. Malika is a native of Baltimore, Maryland, and a pioneering trendsetter in her industry as a natural hair care master, entrepreneur, and advocate. The winner of the National Golden Scissors Award for three, count them, 1, 2, 3 consecutive years, she is also affectionately known by many as Lock Mama. I love that, Lock Mama. Her resume includes founder, owner, and operator of Dreads and Heads Natural Hair Care Center, founder of the 15 Stop Natural Hair Care Evolution Tour, founder of the 8 Stop Exodus Tours, founder of Happy Nappy K, Poets in the Park, and owner of multiple brands and product lines. Some of her awards include the Self Image Award and the Gospel Music Humanity Award. She has judge status and has judged 90% of the natural hair care event competitions across the country as well as internationally. Her clientele includes, but is not limited to, recording artists Wycliffe Jean, Snoop Dogg, Baltimore Ravens Torrey Smith, baseball player Manny Ramirez, and a host of local artists. Y'all, let's clap it up. Let's clap it up for Malika Tamu Cooper.
Yes.
Stage, come on stage,
That
girl.
was just fabulous.
We,
You're on tour with me.
what,
That's what I said, Malika.
Up in here patting myself on the back like
I know, right?
wonderful.
you were both saying, who is this fabulous woman that she's introducing?
Hey,
But so I do want to thank you both for bringing your fabulousness to the stage. But I want to jump right into your stories, and I am intrigued to hear the backstory myself. Having been on a weight loss journey and a transformation journey, It's important to bring this story to other women that are not just women, but anybody that is in the battle for their health, the battle for their life. And I'd like for each of you to kind of, and I'll start with you, Miss Maybell, since I introduced you first.
Okay.
why
Give,
she get to
give
go
us
first?
give us the give us
Hey,
the
Malika, don't start no mess, because this ain't your show. Yeah, she said the queen go first. The queen go first. Now,
Okay, okay. My elders.
Okay. All right. So Miss Maybell, we'll start with you, and I'll ask you what's tell us your journey. What started you on your journey, and kind of give us the start of the
Okay.
backstory.
First off, I'm so honored to be here. But my health journey started really in 2013, where I suffered a heart attack. And a few months prior to that, I suffered a stroke and I could not walk. I had to go in rehab for 6 months. And then I came out of rehab, went back to work, was still doing a lot of Miss Maybell gigging and everything. And then one day I thought it was asthma, came back from the hospital, went back again the next day, and come to find out the asthma attack affected my heart enzymes. And they told me I was way overweight because I am the chicken wing queen. I love chicken wing. Now I eat one, but I'm a chicken wing, and don't give me a pork chop. Don't give me a fried foot. Everything wrong, I'm gonna eat it. Everything wrong, I will eat. So when you're doing shows like that back to back, your diet is horrible. And I would eat all kind of stuff and just drink Pepsis. I used to love Pepsis over ice. I don't even care if it came out the freezer. I want ice on my Pepsi. And I would just eat it, eat because I'm doing shows. I ain't got time really to sit down and, fix a nice meal, or I'm taking care of my son. So my diet was horrible. So when I suffered the heart attack in 2013, they had this program at Union Memorial called let me get it straight. It was for people who suffer heart attacks. And I told them I didn't want to do that because I had to get 2 stents. I was scared to move. And they was like, either you gonna lay here and get busy dying, or you gonna get busy living. And I
Ooh.
said, well, I'm gonna get up and go check it out. And I went down to cardiac rehab, that's what it's called. And I went down and I checked it out, and it was nice. And I started going, and they hook you up to the monitors, and you would do everything the doctors tell you to do. So when I came home, I was in the hospital about 8 days, and I came home, and I was just so nervous from suffering the heart attack. And then I started going to the gym. Well, I don't like going to the gym with a trainer because I don't want nobody to tell me what to do. So that didn't work too much. That didn't work. And then I lost weight after I had the heart attack, and then I gained the weight again. And the doctor was like, "You have to do something about your weight." And my heart doctor was the one who told me about the sleeve. So I had checked into the sleeve, and it took me 2 years to do it because I was just scared. I'm scared of going under the knife. And when I finally went to go get the sleeve, um, the first 2 days I felt horrible. I felt like, why did I let them do this? This ain't gonna be for me. I'm not gonna make it. I think I made a bad decision. I wasn't in any pain, but I just didn't feel like myself. So about a week later, I go put some big girl clothes on, and everything falling off. My boobs then got flat, everything. I done lost my boobs. And it took me a long time to get my boobs. You know when you get your boobs and they sitting up, Malika. You know how your boobs is, Malika. They sitting up with your clothes on. That wasn't happening, baby. That wasn't. I had to wear 2 bras, and then my boobs were sinking down to the floor. And I'm like, no, they took too much weight off of me. I done something wrong. So, but I never was hungry. So after 6 weeks, you go back to the doctors. And I had lost 75 pounds. I still don't know how I lost 75 pounds. So I'm looking okay in the mirror. Because it's all about me. It ain't about what nobody else said. I was fine being a big girl. I just couldn't breathe. I couldn't climb steps. I couldn't jump rope. I couldn't do anything. I was fine. I thought in my mind, I just couldn't breathe. And one day I had got down to like 105 pounds that I had lost. And I looked like Michelle and Malika. I looked like a skeleton. My head was just kind of like hanging over. I'm like, they took too much off me. They need to give me back my chicken wing gene because I'm not hungry no more. And I will go all day. So one day I went to the doctor, and I remember going in cardiac rehab because I was still doing cardiac rehab. And I had fell out in the lobby. Well, when I woke up, they had all kind of IVs in me because I was what's that when you don't have enough fluids in you? I didn't have enough.
Dehydrated.
Yeah,
Dehydrated.
I wasn't taking the medicine. I don't know what I was doing. I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing. I'm walking, I'm riding bikes, but I'm not, I'm never hungry. I could go all day without eating. That is so very unhealthy. I might drink, if you drink water, it makes you full. I didn't even want a glass of water. So they came up with this diet plan for me to try. And just now, I'm going on 3 years post-op surgery. So I had lost altogether 180 pounds and I had so much skin. But my boobs ain't perky no more. I got a butt now, but I ain't never had a butt, so I wasn't really worried about that because I walk like I got a butt. But I never had a behind. But my boobs, that was my pride and joy. And they wasn't sitting up like they used to be. So just some personal things I noticed that my body was different. And then I went to see this doctor who took away your extra skin. By you losing that much weight, you got a lot of extra skin. And I got tired of folding it up, putting it in a girdle, looking presentable, because it's all about how you look when you come out that door. Because on your worst day, somebody going to see you and you don't want to look uncomfortable or not look right. So I went to see the doctor. He was at Good Sam Hospital, Dr. Wong, and we did the skin removal surgery. And all of this is all going on while I'm performing. And then the weight loss surgery, I had that last year, September the 9th. And my stomach is still tender. I still have no appetite. I have little notes around the house: drink some water, eat some grapes. I got more into the gym. I walk, I swim, I lift weights. I try to go at least 3 days a week. And that's I just try to eat right, and I'm still with the chicken wings. Now, one time, I was on water. I was on water and low calorie juice. Somebody then gave me a Coca-Cola soda. I don't know if y'all ever had a Coca-Cola soda with ice on it. Girl, that thing something serious. And I wish I never had tasted a Coca-Cola again because I gotta have it now. It's not every day, but at least like every 2 days. And that's not good. That's not good. So now that my stomach is still swollen because I won't wear the band because the band irritates my skin. So you're supposed to wear the band every day except for in the shower. I'm not doing that. Okay. So sometimes I get back into wearing the band and drinking nothing but water. As soon as I get off, I get back on it. But when I get back on it, the weight comes back off. So I'm like in the in-between stage. I don't want to lose too much again and look like a crackhead, but I think I need to see a nutritionist that can really help me stay focused because I'm back gigging again from Thursday to Sunday, which I said I wasn't going to do. Plus, I'm all over the place, but I just try to stay up on my health because I got to be here to take care of me and my son.
Yes, yes. So, Miss Maybell, you gave us a whole lot to unpack with your story. And we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back that because I want to hear Malika's story, and then we can kind of
Well,
go.
now we got him a Lego story because
This is like, I mean, this is like politics. We're gonna do equal time for the can. We're gonna do equal time for the candidates. But I do want to share with you that I have a nutritionist for you that I can share their information with you at some point. All right, Miss Malika, you shaking your head.
No, that's because my employees are coming out and I can't talk to them right now.
Okay.
So with that said, I had to finally look at myself one day and I look back over my lineage, being the oldest on both sides, and then and now all of a sudden now I'm the big mama of the family. And
Malika, can you talk up a little? Malika, it's kind of hard for me to hear you.
can you hear me?
That's better. That's a little better.
Yeah, being the big mama of the family. I look back over my mother. She lost her life to diabetes and high blood pressure. My grandmother lost her life to diabetes and high blood pressure. My grandfather lost his life to high blood pressure. My father lost his life to coronary heart disease. And I've lost several aunts, everybody to high blood pressure and diabetes, which just runs rampant in my family. And I needed to look back after like the sixth or seventh funeral. I was like, listen, something has to be done. I cannot just continue to just go there. I saw myself falling into the same traps. You think she had the chicken wings? My family ate everything on the pig from the rooter to the tutor. Everything. And everything white and rice and bread with everything. And I looked up one day and I was 361 pounds. I couldn't walk up the steps. My knees hurt. My back hurt. Sleep apnea. Having to sleep with all of these different pillows. And one day I decided no more of this. And my primary care specialist said, you need to go and get the sleeve. Really, she tried to talk me into the whole full bypass. But everybody that I had heard of from the bypass had all of these complications and blockages. And I still wanted to be able to eat. But I wanted to control my proportions. Also, when you go for the sleeve and when you're so overweight and everything, we haven't really dealt with the mental part of it. That you can go in and get the sleeve done, but why did you gain all of this weight? Now, maybe about 50% of it is hereditary. You eat what your parents put in front of you. You know, they never taught us, they're so busy going to work, they never taught us about the gym and proportions. And you just have all this food on Thanksgiving, like 3 plates set in front of you, and you just picked out
Exactly.
because that was their way of showing us love. And that was our way of coping with a lot of things. She got the chicken wings. Me, give me a baked potato, a sweet potato, some sweets. I would eat sweets before I would eat dinner. You know,
Exactly. Mhm.
just to cope because those things gave me such a feeling of euphoria. And I looked up when I was 361 pounds and my knees was hurting, back's hurting, and couldn't buy a date. Couldn't buy a date. Brothers wasn't trying to look at me, and sisters was looking at me like, ew. And like she said, I was happy being a big girl. I just bought bigger
Mhm.
clothes.
Mhm.
You know, and they got fashionable clothes for big women now. And I just couldn't figure out what it was I was doing. And then I looked back after going through therapy and everything to, breakups, depression, parents dying, all this stuff. And the weight just came out of nowhere. So I went to GBMC and got myself the sleeve and I lost a little over 80 pounds. And then, oh my God, what happened? COVID came. And I found myself visiting the refrigerator way too much, stuck in the house, couldn't do it. And about 60 of it came back. Now I'm down, I don't know if you can see it in my face a little bit, but I'm down now 20. And I was thinking about going in for the revision and getting the actual bypass. And you want to talk about the mental that you go through. This sister, Miss Maybell, talked about the mental that you go through when my little boobies that used to point north is now flat as pancakes and facing and you got this extra skin. What you gonna jump out in front of and drop it like it's hot, and you got all that jiggly wiggly going on. It was
Exactly.
so. Did I make the good decision about losing the weight? Did I? What did I do wrong? I could get dates and people men would try to talk to me. It wasn't the quality men that I wanted to try to talk to me when I was fat, when I was fat or full figured. You can use all of the euphemisms that you want. We was fat and overweight and morbidly obese.
Exactly.
Obese. Notice I said obese, not obese,
Yeah.
obese.
Hmm.
That's how big I was.
Hmm.
And so now when I lost the weight and I started to see a better class of people and I started to feel better and some of those clothes, I looked up, I had clothes in my closet from size 12 to size 32 and throwing those things away. So now we just have to get to the point where we decide we want to be happy, we want to be healthy, we want to be able to walk up to stuff and forget all of those people who want to um, talk about us and
You you kind of going in and out a little bit, Malika.
okay. I'm done. I'm done.
Oh, okay, all right.
Can you hear me?
So, you
I'm here.
you said a couple of things,
I
Malika, that really resonated with me, and since both of you have had the surgery, had the the sleeve, talking about the mental preparation to have the surgery, and not just prior to the surgery, but during the surgery and the aftermath. And I'm asking this question because while I didn't have the gastric bypass or the sleeve, I did have way, way, way too many rounds of liposuction. Right. And my mindset was if I can get down to a 14, what I call a black woman's 10. If I can get to a 14, I can I can hold it down. I can keep it there. And I did for a little while. But then, as you all said, the weight started coming back. That stuff out there started coming back, and it scared me. I had a COVID kind of epiphany like you, or COVID situation um, like you, Malika, and just the notion of doing the mental work and applying that to what happens when you have the surgery. Can you talk about that? Because well, here's what I know is that if if your house is on fire, any window will do. There are a lot of tools out there for us to get this weight thing managed, right? But no matter what we do, whether it's surgery, whether it's diet and exercise, whether it's a Nutrisystem or whatever it is, a pills, doctor's plan, you still have to do the mental work to get to the point where you can maintain it, right? So you still have to do the mental work. So I want to ask you both about your mental processes, your mental work. I heard a little bit of it, but I'd love for you to kind of take a deeper dive into that, Miss Maybell.
Okay, the mental for me, I think you go through a stage of what did I do to myself? Then the depression is real, and the doctors don't tell you that when they're trying to convince you to do either one of these surgeries. And the depression is really real. You have to have a good support system in your corner. You got to know how to pray. This ain't people think once you get surgery and you get small, that's the end of it. There's a whole nother lifestyle after. If you ain't ready for this, don't fool with it. It
Yes.
ain't like you gonna get cut. Then 2 days later, you wake up and you good. Your mind and your body have to be on one accord, or you will be in a serious dark place. I used to wake up crying, didn't even know why I was crying. So they don't tell you that. Another thing they don't do is they don't call back and check on you. I haven't had now one person call me and say, "Are you okay? You need anything?" I think I think that it needs to be a follow up something. I don't know. Maybe
Mhm.
offer different meal techniques or something. If I'm not hungry, I can't be the only one that's not hungry. And
Right.
I know a lot of women got this surgery and months or years later gained that weight back. I'm not
Mhm.
going back to 305.
Mhm.
Never, ever,
Mhm.
ever again. But I
Mhm.
don't want to be 105 either. So
Mhm.
you have to know what your body is comfortable for you, and you got to have a good support system. You got to exercise and get out there and walk so your mind can be clear. Because this is really not what you think it's going to be. It's not that.
Mhm.
Not
So,
that.
so
Well,
Miss, so
during the mental thing, I don't know what program that it was that you went through, but GBMC is fantastic. They do follow ups. They call you. They make you go through 6 months of preparation, and during those 6 months of preparation, they put me into therapy. And I found one of the best therapists in Baltimore City. He's a 73-year-old black man named Dr. Grady Dale. If anybody knows about him,
I know him.
number, you need to go and see him. My mental thing that I had to deal with after the surgery was looking at my plate and not being able to finish my plate.
Yeah,
Looking
that's
at
hard.
Yeah, yeah, it's very hard. I mean, because you've been taught all your life to finish your plate, and my food having to take half of it off, and then having to have leftovers and and then not then having to learn to eat the protein first, and then the vegetables and then the carbs, and not being able to eat that macaroni and cheese, and
Ah,
then my body was changing, that I don't like anything that has gravy or ketchup on it, and all of these things that I thought would bring me comfort no longer gave me comfort. And then the whole mental thing of the dripping skin, and and then you want to jump in the be intimate with somebody, and you're hiding the fact that you've got all. When I start telling you all of those type of mental things that I was going through, and here is the big one. You ready for this? I had legendary locks, natural hair, legendary locks. I had my hair went up before I cut it off was almost 6 feet long, and the bypass and the sleeve made all of my hair begin to thin.
Ah,
Now,
yes,
what
right
that
then.
do
Yes.
is what is that going to do? That's going to affect my business, how I've eaten, how I was a full-figured model, how I've graced the covers of magazines, 14 magazines across the country and in Europe and in the French West Indies. And I'm bald as can be now. Alopecia is real. But I'm glad that I knew a little bit about that was going to happen, because um, I knew a little bit of that was going to happen because GBMC is phenomenal, and they told me the things to do. They told me what was going to happen. But alopecia is a autoimmune deficiency that just so happened to come up, about now. But you want to talk about the mental, so I would suggest that you definitely find a program that deals with the mental before and after.
yes,
And they
yes.
have what groups at GBMC? They have comprehensive, like all the ladies come together and they have workout classes and things like that. So it wasn't that severe for me. The most severe thing was my hair falling out.
Ah,
Mhm.
yes.
And they don't talk to you. They don't talk to you about those other things that are going to happen. You get that more from a support group, but they don't talk to you about um the whole thing for me was, did I do the right thing? No, I didn't. Did I do the right thing? No, I didn't. I was better this way. I could eat a full meal, and the throwing up in the beginning.
Oh, we got to talk about the throwing up, girl.
Oh,
Oh my
gee,
God. Oh, oh.
your plate. You got to look at your plate entirely different now. This is a lot. It's a life changing experience, but I'm on the other side of it now, so I'm not that bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I could stand to go back and lose a little bit more pounds. But now, if I go in and do the revision, then I know exactly what I will be getting myself into.
But Malika, now I don't use a full plate. I then went out to and bought little small sauces,
Yeah,
and
that's
that
what
way it don't feel like it's so overwhelming. And I also went to GBMC with Dr. Bello. They were perfect in the beginning, but
Mhm.
after it's no after thing. You got to kind of figure that
Yeah,
out.
right.
No, ain't no after. Beginning and why it's going on, you get all the support, everything you need. But afterwards, they ain't called me or nothing. So I had
But they
GBMC too,
they
Dr.
they were
Bello.
in my eye chart, sending me little replies and little things. Did you sign up for all of the groups?
I don't know how to do the my chart because see, I got the cataracts over here, and I can't see. I'm always clogging
Say,
and wrong. So I need somebody to call me. When you Malika, when you find it, can you
do
tell them
anything
people
for
call
you.
me because I can't do the login thing. I forget to log in, and I'm wrong with the my chart. I because
No,
cataract,
you got to step
cataract.
up to the
Yeah.
21st century, because they have more than all the support groups and things like that you need. And by the
So
way, Dr. Bell did mine too.
Yeah,
I
and he
am
fine self. What he find?
I am so glad,
Look like
Malika,
Superman.
that you talked about the support and you, Miss Maybell, you're cracking up the support and the aftercare, because that is so critical. And you got a confirmation from Sarah, who I guess went to GMBC
Yeah,
as
I
well.
see Sarah Clark. She got
Okay,
hers
so
there today
so
to
we
back.
see you, Sarah, and appreciate the affirmation. But I do want to talk, kind of go into um, how how you see food differently. And what you also mentioned about how some people have the procedure and gain the weight back. Even when I think about my own journey, and I think about even, I mean, just recently I went out to dinner with a friend who had it, and who she had the gastric bypass, and she was miserable the whole time that we were at dinner
Mm-hmm.
because she still wanted to eat the same
A
way.
whole plate.
She still wanted, but she couldn't. It would make her sick. And so
Mm-hmm.
it is so critical for us to change how we our belief system about food. And it's my journey that was that that's the thing that helped me, is that when I started thinking about food differently, and you
Mm-hmm.
hit the nail on the head, Malika, about the plate, all these things that we're taught about food that's really not true. And so
Right.
we have to rewrite those stories and rewrite new stories that serve our health. That
Can I say one thing real quickly? I've traveled to other countries. America is the only country that I've ever been to that bases the plate on the meat. If you even look at the paper plates and things that we have that have sections, right? They will give you the biggest part is for the meat, and
Mhm.
then a small part for the vegetables, and a small part for the starch or your rice or your
Right,
whatever. But when
right.
I started going to other countries, the vegetable is the main thing,
Mm-hmm.
and a small piece of fish and
Mm-hmm.
small vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
I started looking at that psychologically. I was like, listen, they have done this brainwashing thing on us since we were younger. The 5 food groups, and you got to have all of this fruit. There's so many servings of this, that, and the other. And other countries don't buy into that, and they're healthier.
And with that brainwashing that you're talking about, Malika, that
Mhm.
brainwashing starts even not just in the womb, it starts before the womb. I mean,
Right.
neuromarketers, we live in a toxic food environment
Hmm.
that makes us want to eat when we're not hungry.
Hmm.
Everything in this environment is about eating for appearance, taste, smell, and pleasure.
Right, and
That
not for nutrition.
and not for
Not,
nutrition.
yeah,
And
because
once
everything
we
in America has sugar and salt.
and
Every
once
time I go to another country, I drop 10 to 15 pounds.
mhm,
And my Spanish friend said, Malika, Miss Malika, that's I said, what? They said, American food makes you fat.
yep, yeah.
Yes,
It's
because it's
it's
all
One
in the
it's
person like,
preparation. All in the preparation.
yeah,
right.
it's the processed food. It's the
Mhm.
processed food that has, like you said, all the sugar. It's sugary, it's sweety, it's fatty, and it's
Yep.
got some additives in it that make it addictive. That make what the big issue is the way, in from my point of view, obviously, is that they make the processed food that has the sugar, the fat, the salt, the additives, they make it addictive. It's
And
formulated to be addictive. They market it to be addictive so that we
Mhm.
will eat
And
more,
easy,
they will sell more.
and
And that
easily,
and all of that stuff is not, it is killing us. It
right.
is killing us.
They're
And
not
we don't,
everything.
and so
I,
we have to consciously fight it. We have
I
to
made
be
my
yes, you do. You
point
do.
to educate myself on it
You have
because
to.
I had my nephews, and his mother sent with him for Lunchables. I threw the daggone thing out. I read the back of it. I became an avid label reader.
yes.
Oh,
Mhm.
the little bologna thing was not healthy.
Yeah.
98 grams of salt. The little cheese
Mhm.
and cracker thing was not. And I
Mhm.
found the ones at Whole Foods that has the apples, the grapes, and the little blocks of cheese that was going there. But I was looking and comparing those things, and I said, his mother, for convenience sake, because she didn't make a lunch for him, she gives him Lunchables because it's quick. But I
Mhm.
remember when I was little, we had the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which was
Yes.
10 times way better for
Yes.
you, and it was
Exactly.
already.
Exactly.
And I remember getting up in the mornings and my grandmother making grits and fried fish for breakfast and sautéed apples, and I was so much healthier then. And
Yes.
now the kids get up and they get Fruit Loops and Cheerios and
Mhm.
All
apple,
sugar.
and then you put them on Ritalin because
Yeah.
they bounce all over the place.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
and then the food is not even, it's already a mutant. It's not like it's a real apple or a real
Mm.
whatever anymore. It's all. I watched this movie called "Is There a Mutant on Your Plate?"
Mm.
And the man said something that I'm going to say, and then I'm going to let Miss Mabel say whatever she needs to say. But the two things the man said. Number one, when we were little, the apples used to grow and fall on the ground, right? And their worms would be in it, or the flies and stuff would be around, right? Every time you go into the grocery store now, do you see flies? You don't
No.
see flies.
Uh-uh.
And how are the apples compared to the way they were when we were little?
They
They were,
last longer.
and they're huge, right? And
Hmm.
they showed in the movie where they take the apples, the enzymes from the back of a frog's back, and they splice it into the apple seed, and now they grow extra huge, large growth hormone are introduced into the apples. And if you look at the apples, they're no longer round; they shape like the back of a frog.
Oh my
So
word.
the flies don't want it, neither should you. So how are
Exactly.
we're basically having to go into this sleeves and things like that because what the food is mutant. Our body is making us eat more and more and more and more unhealthy food, but we're essentially fat, overweight, obese, but unhealthy because we're malnourished because the food is not like it used to be when we were
Yep.
little.
It's toxic.
Yeah.
It's toxic. And
Mhm.
as you talk about that, Malika, here's another layer to that as we talk about like the mental adjustments that we have to make on this journey, because we have to make the mental we have to always be making the mental adjustments. We're always going to have, I mean, this isn't a journey that stops. There's no set. So we're always
Mhm.
learning, environment's always changing. And this is the thing that I realized about my own self, is that for all those years that I toggled between obesity and morbid obesity, and I was eating what I said for the wrong reasons. And I, even with the people that I work with that talk about, I eat because I'm stressed, or because I'm bored, or because I'm lonely, because I'm an emotional eater, all that. Once we get this really clear that the only problem that food solves is hunger, that's the only reason to eat. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're eating for all those other reasons, because you're stressed, because you're bored, because you're lonely, once you eat, you are still those things.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Exactly.
They
Break up
stay, those
my
needs they're still unmet. They are still unmet, and you're still in a place of discomfort because you can never eat enough to get that stuff solved. And
Exactly.
it's,
You still got the same problem. You
you
still
still got
gonna
the
have
same
that.
problem.
and
So we don't
you
get the skill to
have
solve the problem, because as soon as we learn how to solve the problem, then the desire to eat will go away, because all that stuff shows up in our gut, and we don't know the difference between that stuff and hunger, because we're just so used to eating as because we feel something. And
Now,
then we
see, the surgery did for me. If I'm used to eating breakfast, I can't eat breakfast now since the surgery. I can't even stand the smell of an egg. So that's one thing. I used to love boiled eggs. I don't even want to see an egg because it makes me want to puke. After going to the restaurant and puking one time, it will make you change your whole
Yep.
mindset
yeah,
about
Yep.
eating. Now, if I get invited out and I perform at a lot of different clubs or whatever, I have to do vegetables. I have to do like one half of a baked potato. My whole mindset is different. Don't bring me a plate, bring me a sauce plate, because I need to put
Mhm.
out already before I start eating.
Talk
My thing
about
is I have to refix my plate again. You're not going to put all the food in front of me. If you give me a lot of food, I'm not eating none of it. So what I started doing is I make my own plate. I put a little of this, a little of that, and I still might not eat it, but it's not like
it.
I'm looking at. I can't go to all you can eat. I
right.
used to
It's
love
worse.
going
It's
to
worse.
all you can eat. If you take me to all you can eat, I'm vomiting. It's too
Right.
much. I don't want nothing.
Mhm.
But now
Mhm.
I've learned to eat a little bit of salad. Maybe take the skin. Don't give me no skin on my chicken. Give me a little bit. And
Mhm,
sometimes I don't eat meat. So
mhm.
it's definitely a mind thing. You have to do what's best for you. A lot of women ask me, what you think about getting the sleeve? What you think I should do? You got to find out what's best for you,
Yep.
because just getting cut on and losing the weight is not the whole. It's not the whole picture. It's a lot to this, and if you're not ready to dig in it, because now I'm working more on my body than I did before when I was a fat girl. So you gotta exercise. You gotta pray. You gotta eat right. You can't just go to everybody's house to eat. Everybody don't clean their dishes right. Hello, I'ma say it. Everybody don't wash the dishes right. So you can't eat out of everybody's house.
Right.
You might think you getting some
And
tea
then
that don't
the
have sugar
gravies
in
are
it.
too
And
much.
black people, we put sugar in it. No, you can't eat what everybody else eats. You have to find out what's keeping your weight under control. You gotta keep a count of your numbers. You gotta watch your thing. I haven't been on a scale in 3 months. I don't know what I weigh, because right now my mindset is going to the gym 3 days a week, spending time on that treadmill, spending time on that Ika machine, you know, that thing to do like this and your feet going. That take my whole gut out. When I'm off of that, Malik, I need to go to bed. Yeah, lick a machine. What is called the Ika machine? When I get on that, baby, I got to stay focused. So I don't have time to weigh myself. All I know is everything is not fitting. I'm in a size 10 now. I ain't wore 10 since I was 10. So you have to be, I can't cook that macaroni and cheese because I'm going to taste it. I don't want to plate, but I might taste it. Everybody know cheese is salt. Cheese is sugar. Cheese is fattening. But I use 5 cheeses in my macaroni and cheese. I can't fix that for me. I can't eat that. I don't like brown rice. I like white rice. I can't eat that. I love my thing since the weight loss surgery is red potatoes. Good God Almighty. And then you got to put the butter on there and put it back in the oven. Let the butter, oh, child, oh. So I have to eat what's best for me. I like asparagus. I like salads, but I don't want too much. Anything that I can find that I like to eat, I can't eat a lot of because I can't. It's a mind. It's definitely a mind thing. It is.
And it sounds like from everything that you're saying, Miss Maybelle, is that it's a mindset, but it's also in this journey you are developing new skills, and we all have to develop new skills to figure out what works for our bodies, because you're right, we are all different, and what works for one person is not going to work for another person. But it is about skill it is about food management.
Exactly.
Food mastery is a skill. It is something that we really aren't taught. I mean, we're actually taught the opposite. So we have to learn it. We have to learn it for ourselves in order to save our own lives and the lives of people that we love. So I'm so glad that you are talking about that, because we do have to. When you think
nobody talk about the flip side of this. Nobody ever talks about it. And then if you're gracious enough to lose weight, what are you going to do with that skin? That is the hardest thing in the world. You're going to get tired of folding it up, putting it in a girdle, tucking it, because my arms used to hang right down here. I had to pay the bell wave. That's not attractive. That look like we're not doing that. My boobs down to the floor. They heavy. They hurting. They not up here no more. So your whole body and your mind, it's a lot to this.
Yeah.
And if you're not ready to do the whole package, and you don't want to keep, I'm not the person that keep getting cut on. You're not going to keep cutting on me. The second surgery was enough. It had me down for 2-3 days. And now I'm just, if I wear that band, I probably be littler than I am, if that's a word, littler. But I can't wear that band every day. I'm getting better, but no.
You know,
it's a process. It is a process. I'm sorry, Malika. I'm to hear you.
I said you'll begin to find little tricks that will help you, like when people go to McDonald's and they get that sweet tea. I used to love me that sweet tea, right?
Ooh.
So now I'll get the unsweet tea and I'll put 1 pack of the Splenda in it, because if I use anything that has too much sugar, sugar is now beginning to be too sweet for me. You know, so I used to love to eat Starburst candy. Now I put one in, I'm like, oh God, no, that's too much sugar.
Too much sugar.
So we don't do those either. So you'll begin to find all these little tricks that will help.
Yeah, you have to. You have to.
All right.
And so
gravies, or you didn't like the eggs. Me, it's gravies and ketchups and sauces,
Ah,
and
oh,
it's just too much. You just
I can't do it. Don't.
so your body, once you get the surgery, your body will tell you what you can tolerate and what it won't. And that is a whole nother. Me, some good mashed potatoes and gravy. What? Now we can't do it anymore. If it
Yeah.
falls heavy, you'll get it. But so I'm not to say don't get the surgery, but make sure that you're mentally ready for it, and do a year
Mentally
of
ready.
research where you just going around and asking people, talk to people, do some, sit there with some folk and be like, well, what did you go through? Did you go through this? Did you go through that? Just to make the road a little more easier for you.
Exactly. And do your homework. Don't even just listen to this show. Find other people that are talking about and ask them. Don't ask them all the good and the glory. Don't, it ain't about that. Find out everything. And you got to have that good family support. When you are at home and you're feeling depressed, who can I talk to? Everybody don't want to hear your story. Everybody think this is quick, fast, and no, it's not that. So have a good support system in your doctors and your family. If you're in the church, have your pastor really, because my doctors didn't want to give me this. My doctor said that, my adult medicine doctor said, oh, over in my country, we don't believe in that. And I said, you know what? We in the hood of Baltimore City. I ain't in your country, bro. I need to do what's better for me because I can't have another heart attack.
But overall, if I had to say, was it a good decision? Yes.
Yes.
It was a good decision. But they just didn't tell you about all of those other little tentacles that's attached to it.
Yes.
But if anyone is interested in getting the sleeve and having a whole life change, because you can't keep, like I said before, lost all these family members due to the exact same thing: high blood pressure, diabetes, overweight. What it's forewarned is forearmed. Get the sleeve, get the gastric bypass, and just get ready for a whole life adjustment. That's exactly what.
And this, that what you said about a life adjustment, this is about really fundamentally changing how what we believe about food and what its purpose is. Really for 40 years, and we all kind of like sound like we were in the same boat here. And even in this country, food is presented as entertainment, as an activity. We are almost forced to eat for pleasure rather than nutrition. And we have got to be intentional about making other decisions if we are to live healthy and full lives, and just be defiant and reject the notion of that, it runs in my family. And Malika, I'm so glad that you talked about the different people in your family that had diabetes and dealt with heart disease, to show that you can fight back. You don't just have to say it runs in my fammy.
My
Well,
grandfather was found.
but if we start making different choices in understanding how what we eat impacts that, there's a direct line to it, and
We
we can
break
we
the
can start
cycle.
with that.
We'll break the cycle in our families.
We can break the cycle.
Because
Yes.
Black women, we have everything. I don't know if y'all know this, but when I went to my heart attack classes afterwards, and they teach you all about the coming in and how you try to resort from having a heart attack to do the right things. Did y'all know diabetes, all of that, everything is in our stomach.
Yep.
Everything is that
It's
for Black
gut.
women. I don't know about white women. All I can talk about is Black women. Black women, we got arthritis in our stomach. Everything is formed in our stomach. So why not take care of what we're putting in our stomach?
Right.
That's the key. That's the key.
Yes.
The
High
woman,
blood pressure.
woman is in charge of the health of the entire family.
Family. Yes.
She's the one that decides the meal, so therefore, she's the one that decides whether you're going to be overweight, underweight. If she doesn't learn or be educated on the proper balanced, hot, cooked meals, you know, she's all that DoorDash and all of those other things at McDonald's and Taco Tuesday and all that stuff got to be cut out. And with the
Did you say Taco Tuesday?
Taco Tuesday, girl, They got Taco Tuesday all over the internet and everything. We eat tacos on this and Burger King on this day and that.
Uh,
I'm saying to myself, when we were younger, we had Sunday dinner.
Right.
yes.
We had Sunday dinner. We had two meats on Sunday. On Saturdays, we may had a cold cut sub, bag of chips, because my mother made two meats on Sunday, the leftovers on Monday, baked beans and hot dogs on Tuesday. But they were balanced meals that were not so full of sugar and fat and everything. My family had a pot of the lentils and some smoked turkey, and we ate protein
Mm-hmm.
based full
Mm-hmm.
meals. But now
Yes.
everything is fast food, and so is our fast. Is our stomachs becoming fat, and our bodies are going to just falling apart
Yeah.
fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And on top of that, earlier you were talking about sugar. Sugar is not even food.
Mm-mm.
Sugar, it is just a highly addictive substance that is
Yes,
more addictive than cocaine.
That's
absolutely,
right.
It is
absolutely.
more addictive than cocaine.
There
And we
was
just,
a case study with that man that did the Super Size Me.
yes,
That movie was long time ago. It's he was did a
I
study and he
remember.
got sick, and his body went straight down. He was a healthy guy, and he ate McDonald's for 30 days and damn near killed himself.
Yeah.
And ninety
Um,
percent of it is sugar. And there was a case study done about that because they put so much sugar and stuff that when the children drove by McDonald's, it was like they had McDonald's.
Mhm,
exactly. Exactly.
mhm.
They had like crack addict, like
Yeah.
addiction.
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Uh,
and it starts early. I mean, it's what's in the food and then the marketing, right?
right.
It's the marketing to it. It is so much. And but ladies, we're coming up to the top of the hour. I just and I this we could talk about this for on and on because it's so
Michelle,
important.
time almost up already.
Our
You must
time
have
is
took a
almost
while.
up.
I don't think you took a. We didn't get my allotted time
Well,
because
so what I want you both to do is I want you both to give me like a 30-second how people can get in contact with you and what you got coming up next. I know you both got some good juicy stuff, and I want people to be able to connect with you. So do that for me really quickly, and we're gonna have to
Who gets to go
visit
first
again.
this time?
Malika,
Malika, go first.
since you
Go
spoke
first.
up,
But
since
you
you
get on
spoke
my
up, yeah.
nerves, girl. I'll be
Uh,
down there tomorrow, Malika. I need some more of that pineapple scrub stuff.
Oh, girl, I got everything set up. With that being said, I am so grateful to CIAA is coming to Baltimore. And Center Court has asked me for the second time in a row to host a hair and beauty expo. And with my elements of health. So I need you there, Miss Maybell.
I'll be
March
there, baby.
March the 3rd, look up Center Court, Baltimore. I'm bringing Darren Henson from Stomp the Yard and the Family Business. I have, I got so much going on. Roche Anthony with the learning how to do makeup. We have a hair and beauty show. We have everything that you want to go on. Center Court, March the 3rd, the Atrium 35 Marketplace, downtown Baltimore. If you want to reach me, uh, my IG handle is the letter O, the letter H, the word nappy, and the number one. My salon is www.dreads, DREADZ, the letter N, HEADZ.com. Or you can just simply look me up on Facebook, Malika Cooper. And my salon's phone number is 410-298-0660. And by the
Thank you
way,
so much.
for this last hour, I've left people under the dryer.
Thank you so much, Malika. All right, Miss Maybell, you're
Okay, be
on.
quiet, Malika. Be quiet. This is my time. Okay. I'm
No
so
problem.
honored. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you, Wanda Watts, for considering me. Okay, on Fridays I host the show, Old School Fridays at City View 1, and on Saturdays I host City View 2 for Old School Saturdays. March the 21st, I will be joining Comedian Alabama, and I'm hosting the Baltimore Comedy Factory. That's where I got started at 26 years ago, and I won the contest. I'm going back there March the 21st with an after party at Safari. I just got signed up with HBO to do my new biopic about my life and different
Woo,
comedians.
you go,
Um,
girl.
I just got a street named after me. Go girl, go girl. Just got a street named after me. Miss Maybell's Way is over East Side in Zone 18. I'm so thankful. Today I teamed up with Umar Boxing and T-Shirt Brian. We fed over 300 people on North Avenue. I'm exhausted, but that's my thing. I need a building so I can feed people. April the 20th, I'm at the Palladium doing the Soul Marathon again. March the 16th, I don't mean to be all over the place, y'all. March the 16th is my 18th annual Full Figure Fashion Show. I have 5 tickets left. We will be sold out again. Thank you, Travis Winky. Every Monday at 11 o'clock to 11:30 is Miss Maybell's Mondays. I had my girl Malika on there. We shut it down. That's at Radio 11010 WOLB, where information is power. Miss Maybell's Mondays. My producer is T-Shirt Brian. Wait a minute.
All right, Miss Maybell, we're
Wait a
running,
minute, I'm
we're
not finished, girl.
we're running out of time. Oh, listen, Miss
You're gonna have to have us back.
Malika, thank you
You're gonna have to
so
have us
much for
back.
joining. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on Get the
You're
Backstory and sharing your stories. I appreciate you. Love you so much. Anybody that wants to get in touch with me, you can reach me at michelle@michellepettis.com, and we'll keep telling the story. We'll keep telling the story, and we will see you next month.
What does it mean to get the backstory? It means asking the hard questions and getting to the heart of what matters about your mental, spiritual, financial, and physical well-being. In my quest to find wholeness, wellness, and end the 40 years of obesity that ravaged my body, I found that it was my own stories that were keeping me trapped in processed food addiction. Once I started asking the right questions, those same stories led to brand new consciousness, mindfulness, and agency. Each month on Get the Backstory Live, we take on the tough questions so you can find the healing, hope, and transformation hidden in your story.